Brown guy with tattoos. I think I'm covered. We're looking for a brown guy with tattoos. Perfect.
Is that the AK day?
That was the AK day. So
Chest blasted?
Chest. He just wanted.
How about this? We'll give something for the listeners. All right.
Okay, dude, if people understood that they can get slapped at any fucking point in time, they would legitimately shut the fuck up. Fucking take the labels off of this shit. If they want to drink the bleach, drink the bleach. So day drinking, and then and I was like,
I caught that. I'm like, motherfucker! It's 11.
We're at work.
11 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
At work at least.
It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Too, but I was like, yes.
Now it's time for you to talk about blood dick.
Right.
Why the fuck were you guys talking about that before the fucking episode? Hashtag blood dick.
So awesome.
Listen, welcome to the Covert Standard. What's going on? You're listening to Covert Standard. At the top of the show, we're going to talk about my good buddy Stoner at stonecoldworks.com. If you got a boring black firearm at the house and it's just sitting there collecting dust and it's just been boring the shit out of you and you want to change these colors because you want to be that individual person, because it is 2020 and everybody's all about their individuality.
Individualistic.
You can go ahead and send your firearm over to Stoner over there at Stone Cold Works and get it Cerakoted. His price sheet's on his website. Go check it out and make sure that you mention Covert Standard when you send it over there, and he might throw a little something in there for you. Yeah.
Super talented, dude. I'm working on a project. It's going to be an expensive one, but I'm going to go all out on it, I think.
So, like, I just recently hit him up and told him that I want to do a Baby Yoda SBR. Like the Baby Yoda scheme.
Yep.
I'm going to have him engraved on the receiver, like, you know, reaching his hand out, whatever. I'm going to do it. And now everybody else is listening is going to do it too.
You're
now.
going to try to get him to find a way to give your gun wrinkles.
Baby Yoda. He's still a little smooth. That was weird to say that. The baby's smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth as a baby's butt. Remember they used to say that?
Yep,
Smooth as a baby's bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so Dillon, you know, it's just me and you right now.
Just you and I. Which
is fine. It's okay. But I really wanted to sit down in a one-on-one with you. And I want to do it with Chase as well. And go over a certain topic, right?
Right.
So we've already talked about fear before, and I want to bring up another one that I think is very important in today's...
The fearless of the fear.
That
was a good episode.
Yes.
Dodging bullets.
I want to talk about courage, okay? Now, see, courage, I don't want people to think, okay, Wizard of Oz, right? The lion, he's trying to find his courage because he's a scared little cat.
There's a lot that goes into such a simple word.
Yes, it does. But I want to talk about every aspect of what courage would be.
Yeah.
See, when you think about courage, most would probably say that they're thinking about that guy that runs into the burning building to save a family.
That those officers that ran toward that dude in Iowa, I think it was, where he was shooting at the bar district. Mm-hmm. They had handguns. He had a fucking rifle. They just ran into gunfire.
Courage.
That's fucking courage.
The guy in the church that stood up, one shot, took out the perp before you could take out anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Jack Wilson, I think.
Jack. Courage. But courage comes in many forms. I don't want anybody to misconstrue this. I don't think it's just the guy who's behind the gun defending people.
Right.
Courage is also the person that's going through some sort of illness, but they don't want to give up. And in their mind, they're overcoming whatever it is as much as they can to fight it. Courage. The person that has 3 kids at home that probably went through either a death in the family or divorce, whatever it is, bad situation, but they're still doing it because it's about the kids. Courage. You know, the courage really comes in so many different forms. And this is what I wanted to bring up.
I mean, there's a lot to go into. I don't want to interrupt you because I got a lot to say on this too. I think we're both of the same mind of like courage can be both about like what seems to be the mundane and the extraordinary.
Exactly. So let me ask you, right? If I told you to give me a paragraph definition of what you believe courage would be, and it could be anything. I don't want a textbook. I want just from the heart. What do you think courage is?
If I was going to put it in so many words, I think a good way of looking at it is fighting against uncertainty. So whether that's in, the extreme violent acts, you don't know if you're going to survive, but you're going to go do your best to try to save someone's life, or you're going to go move to a completely different city where you have no family, no safety net, you have no friends, and try something new. You're going to go explore something completely different. That's the struggle against uncertainty, I think, is a good way of summing up courage. Not the only one, but that's what I think of first thing when I think of courage.
That's actually a pretty good definition. Like, that's actually right around how I would describe it. Courage to me is the ability to go against your conscience for something of good, right? So it's the ability to your mind is trying to tell you no. You have a fear behind something, but you're able to push yourself through that to get the job done and putting your own personal feelings about it aside. Now, I meant that for the good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, right, we look at a fire, right, a burning building. I just explained, because God bless
running into a fire.
God bless our first responders, our firemen, our
Second
paramedics,
responders.
our second responders. #firehead. God bless our military personnel, because these are who actually are able to keep our freedoms free, and they do a hell of a job at it. But imagine the burning building, right?
Mm-hmm.
We learn at a very young age, right, that fire means hot, right, and hot means ow, right?
Stop, drop,
Very,
roll.
very simple. For somebody to look at something where they know there's destruction, there's horror, there's pain, but they look at it, and instead of seeing that, they see the family that's on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
and they run in to save them from that burning building. That's what I mean. That ability to look past what would be a normal
self-preservation.
Exactly. And and doing something that is greater than themselves to do that act.
Yeah.
And I think that I think people talk about it, but I don't think people talk about it enough. I don't think people realize the people that are out there that do a lot to put not just put their lives on the line, but like they do a lot that help the community better themselves.
In the age of shitting on law enforcement, I couldn't agree with you more. Like, people don't see that sacrifice, or either they don't acknowledge it or they don't think it's worth praise. I don't know what to say there. Like this blatant, like, cops are pigs and they're racists,
Mm-hmm.
and like that. It's so common. Like, the cops that are working poor black neighborhoods give more of a fuck about poor black people than you do. Like,
Yes.
they're going out there fucking trying to
doing
save their
something.
lives every fucking day.
Here's what it is. We grew up in an interesting time. We've talked about this before. And within this time, communication and technology have grown, right?
Changed a lot.
A lot. So now you have the ability to see something that happens across the world very quickly. And it reaches a lot more people because of a device that they personally have on them.
Sure.
Back in the day, when you got your news, you either got it from watching the news channel on TV or reading the newspaper. Now you get the news by looking at your social media feed, and almost everybody has a cell phone.
Yeah.
It actually became part of our society to have a cell phone. There's a lot of people that feel like they can't function in their lives without a cell phone.
Obama phones.
Exactly.
I mean, it became so ubiquitous. Like, yeah,
that's a good fucking word, ubiquitous. I like that.
It seriously became like, we need to provide poor people with phones because it's so integral to American society. So yeah. So
because people have the ability to see that, they sometimes confuse it with happening a lot. So I'm not going to say that, okay, there's good and bad people and everything, okay? Law enforcement officials, military, there's good and bad people. Let's just say that right there. Good and evil is across the board anywhere. But I think because of technology and communication, that one bad person no
one cares about the thousands of good acts of law enforcement every single day. They want to focus on one
bad person.
What is perceived to be a bad action. A lot of times it's not even a bad action from the cop.
It's not. No, it's not at all. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there are legitimate bad calls. The cop that shot the dude that was running away from him after he got his taser.
Mm-hmm.
Bad fucking call.
Yeah,
all right?
I agree.
The guy that arrests a fucking, what was it, a 9-year-old or an 8-year-old? 6-year-old. Yeah.
2 6-year-olds.
Fucking fingerprinted photos, fucking took him to jail. Yeah. Obviously they didn't go to jail. They went to juvie. But, not the best decision-making skills there. But, again, you have thousands of cops making positive experiences in children's lives every fucking day all across America, and the hyper-focus can be on the one guy that made a terrible decision. So absolutely. I feel like we might be rolling a little bit off of courage here. But
no, I just wanted to say that. Yeah, I know we are.
I want to bring us back.
Let's bring us back to
I like because there's sorry. I mean, if you got more to say on that, you can. But
no. I agree with you. We're going off a little bit, but I think the reason why I wanted to say that was just to establish that we shouldn't take lightly for those thousands that we were just talking about that are doing good, because they are putting their lives on the line. They are the epitome of what I'm saying, courage. So when I go back and backtracking again, there's a lot of law enforcement officers out there that risk their lives. Like they a simple traffic stop. There's been cases where people are just getting shot because they stop them. Obviously the person that shot him is not a good person. Obviously the cop needed to pull that guy over,
weird,
or girl over,
because there's still people that would argue against you.
Yeah, isn't it wild that people would argue against me?
Yeah.
Or the people, he shot the person that had a gun in his hand. Well, you didn't know if he was going to shoot you.
Right.
There's no. Listen, drop the gun is a very simple statement. Drop the gun.
Yeah.
You don't want to drop the gun. You're not complying. This is what happens.
Right.
And man, people don't understand. And I've been there. I've been on the other side of the gun.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of people out there that don't understand what it feels like to be on the other side of a gun. And so when
people
they're going,
don't think about violence at all.
No, they don't.
Most people don't think about violence in the slightest. Like, I don't know if you saw it or not, but there was a shooting out of Vegas, and it was a 95-year-old man, and he lived in an apartment complex, and he was very unhappy with something to do with his maintenance.
Okay.
So he went to the leasing office, and he fucking was talking to the maintenance guy and the leasing lady, and whatever was being said, he did not like.
Okay.
So guy pulled out a Glock 19 and was waving around and intimidating a little bit, let the lease lady leave, was talking to the maintenance guy. Maintenance guy said some shit he didn't like, so he shot the maintenance guy in the leg. All right? Kept talking for a little bit longer, sat around, and he decided to shoot him in the other leg. And by that time, law enforcement had responded. They're hearing gunshots go off. He heard the second shot go off. He's feet away from the door. He doesn't know what the fuck he's going into.
Okay.
Going to active shooter.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking has his gun drawn, obviously, gives verbal command, drop the fucking gun. I think he didn't drop an F-bomb. He's dropped the gun, law enforcement, blah, blah, blah. Law enforcement dropped the gun. He's a 95-year-old man. The guy turned the fuck around. He didn't hear anything. You know, what?
Yeah.
And turned around.
Yeah.
Officer shot, single round. All right? That's courage, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Of coming up on that. And like, if you don't understand violence,
because it could have been 5 people with guns. It could have been a gang of people with guns. It could have been one young person with a worse, whatever.
A guy turned around with a gun. You cannot wait to see if he's going to point it at you, because it is too fucking late.
And the gun has been fired too.
Right.
People don't.
He's shooting somebody.
Right.
So this is not guy that's fucking going out there selling cookies. Okay.
Yeah.
He's shooting someone and then turns around with a gun in his hand. Officer shot once. 95-year-old guy drops the gun. He takes the 95-year-old guy down to the ground. Luckily for the 95-year-old, he's a tiny 95-year-old and he's wearing a full suit. So the round went through his suit, but he's such a small motherfucker, it didn't actually hit him.
Huh.
So he just got
lucky.
He got a bump on his head from getting thrown to the ground and arrested. I mean, he's probably going to die in jail.
Maybe.
He's 95 years old. You can't fucking shoot someone in the leg twice.
Yeah, and just not go to... Yeah, it was an accident. I didn't mean to.
Well, he talked shit.
Okay, so that's courage.
But that's fucking courage, man. And like a lot of people... It does frustrate me. A lot of people wouldn't recognize that. Of like, but he's 95. And, he turned around. He didn't point a gun at anybody. Like all the naysaying.
Sure.
And meanwhile, this guy is running into active fire situation, and not. I mean, it's baffling to me. Well, that's their job. That's their job.
Okay, well, he did his job. No, he didn't do his job. Like, it's so... They want you to be there to be a face of something and stop it without bullets. They want you just to be like, hey, stop. And then they think in their minds that the criminal's just going to stop.
Bobbies. They just have, like, clubs.
Clubs?
Yeah, like
dude, Japan was like that for a while. A lot of them just had, like, nightsticks.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
But these motherfuckers could fight.
Sure.
these motherfuckers can fight. I've seen them in action. These motherfuckers roundhouse kick you in the face.
Their lives are
their lives are in danger with no guns. Yeah, they're gonna fucking roundhouse kick you in the face. It's awesome. So courage to me is such an important factor in life because I think that there's a turning point in everybody's lives where you learn it.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to learn it is in a harsh situation. What I mean by that is you cannot teach somebody courage. I can't tell you, okay, this is what courage is. I think courage is either in you or it's not in you.
I think it's a muscle that you can flex.
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like you have to put yourself in a situation to where it test it.
Yeah, like you can't just think about courage. You have to do it, and you can get better at it. If you're bad at it, you can improve yourself. Like you can, and it comes back to like there's degrees of courage. Like not every act of courage is running up on an active shooter situation.
It could be a paramedic, right?
Yeah.
Who responds to a car accident, who responds to a gunshot wound victim, who responds to a stabbing, and they take the person, woman, child, guy, whatever, into the ambulance, and they're trying to save their life. That's courage because you have to push yourself to do something that
I think way more mundane.
Sure.
I think like courage can be standing up to like a socially awkward situation. Like fucking standing up and saying some shit when it's the easy thing to do is to not say a goddamn word.
Okay.
But the right thing to do is to stand up and fucking say something and get ostracized by everybody around you.
That does take courage.
Right. Like that.
Public speaking, that's
right.
That's
like
courage right there, yeah.
You know, like you want to fucking be something. Whether that's, you know, I got a friend right now. His son is he just finished welding school. All right. He really wants to be a welder. He's thinking about just dropping everything and going off to an oil rig and welding up in like North Dakota or whatever. That fucking, to a large degree, takes some form of courage to just drop everything.
To drop your life?
Right. And go, I'm going to give this a shot. I mean, granted, it's not like it doesn't pay well.
It pays very well.
But what if you get out there and you can't cut it? You're not good enough.
Like the work's too hard, or like you're not performing well enough, or
right.
You know, somebody decides to throw you off the oil rig, whatever, you know. No, I'm just kidding.
There's all kinds of shit though.
Yeah.
That, like, yeah, I don't know. Like
that is a courageous thing.
I didn't see it. I went to school somewhere that was like in a totally different state, and I didn't have anybody that was like, you know, any kind of safety net for me. I didn't see that as like some act of courage, but a lot of people perceived it as such because I had a dream that I wanted to go after, and I followed it. I
mean, it does take it because you have doubt. Okay, courage. The opposite side of courage would be the doubt, right?
Right.
So moving, right? Mm-hmm. Most people, or just people in general, would have a doubt about it. Like, okay, well, what about my bills? What about a place to live? How am I going to eat?
What if I can't make it?
What if I can't make it? What if I? Because all of that doubt starts to get into your head and it clouds your dream. Right. And then it stops you from doing it. Well, you have to have the courage to just take the leap, and the leap is important.
I didn't think it was. Yeah, absolutely. It's all about taking the leap and just doing it. I didn't think what I did was all that courageous, but I have seen people here like moving to Florida. Like I just moved to Florida because there's an opportunity for an employment in a field that I got a degree in and I don't have a job in, and I want to. So I just moved to fucking Florida. Like I didn't have anybody here.
And then God help you because you met us.
Just fuck it. Like I want, but like since moving here, there's countless people that I've met that are just like frozen in fear that they don't have the courage to take the step of like, they want to do something. They want to have a career path. They want to even go to school somewhere, and they just do what's easy instead. Mm-hmm. And like, I can see the defeat in them over like a span of time. They really they're not happy with themselves. Like courage, dude, is so many different things that are hard to describe.
I went through a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And I'll be completely honest with you. I went through a roller coaster. There has been times in my life before military career where I was scared of a lot of things, right? And courage really wasn't part of my thing. But then the leap into the Marine Corps, I believe, in my mind, was an act of courage. The leap to doing something greater than myself.
Sure.
Then obviously going out to Iraq and doing my, tour overseas and everything. There's a lot of courage in there. But let me fast forward. I'm going to talk about that.
Right.
Afterwards, I found myself in a funk, in a situation to where I kept doubting myself being able to get out of. Okay. And I ended up in that. I ended up just like exactly what you're saying right now, where I just did what was easy and I got comfortable and I didn't make a move. And then every time I made a move, I would get rejected 2 or 3 times and then I would give up on it. I did that, man.
Right.
And I'll full wholeheartedly admit that shit right now. I don't care. I did that. I was that comfortable guy. That sense of courage died out because I was able to just, I lived in the comfort zone.
This sucks, but it's good enough.
Exactly. But with your guys' help too, and of course encouragement, because encouragement helps with people.
Having the right people in your corner matters.
Exactly. I got back up. I picked myself up out of that funk, and I changed my life. And that was that. In my and not to toot my own horn. I'm just saying I went through that.
No, you
shitty,
fucking did it,
and I jumped out of it.
Like there are things that you should be impressed with yourself about. I mean, the fucking degree sitting on this table right here.
The magna cum laude a lot because fucking Chase can't fucking get over it.
Yeah, like that's worth fucking being proud of, man. Like that.
My problem is that I don't like to boast and brag. So when I try to tell people that I'm excited about something,
you feel like you're just coming off as bragging.
Exactly. So I just go, hey, I got this, and then I put it away.
Right. No, but
I'm actually super excited about it.
It's something to be really because you worked your fucking ass off for it. Like and it took that courage.
It did.
It took that courage of like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. I don't care if I'm not gonna fail. That's how I know I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna fail. I'm choosing for myself right now.
I never had a doubt. When I made up my mind on that, there was no doubt. So like when I decided to do it, the courage set in and I decided to do it. I shit you not. When people would be like, well, what if? Everybody had that what if. Well, what if this doesn't work out? I was like, well, there's no choice.
It'd be all right.
I'll be fine.
Yep.
And I did. I fucking graduated with honors, So that courage can come in many different forms. The one courage point that I brought up earlier, I mentioned it earlier, and I want to bring it up again, right? Is the courage to just not, just like you're saying, to not be so comfortable with your situation, but to do something about it is a courage that I think is lacking in a lot of people in today's society. Not everybody.
Or just lacking in an appreciation of it.
Exactly. So having the courage to be part of the society and contribute to society.
Yeah.
Having the courage to stand up again with the illness that I was talking about earlier. Instead of giving up, having the courage to fight it. Don't give up.
Pete Lumadou.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, that hit me right here.
I know.
You just had to say Pete's name, man.
I know.
Oh, that hit me right here.
We knew him for years.
Yeah,
the whole
Pete,
time I ever knew him.
One of the most courageous motherfuckers I've ever met in my life.
A terminal illness.
Yeah.
And they said, listen, this treatment will not solve your fucking illness. It's only going to give your life an excruciating pain, but it'll prolong it. And he lived that way 4 years, fighting through it.
Forever since I've known him.
And while he was doing it, he's in the medical field. He was fucking helping other people.
Yes.
I mean, he
was sick, but he was still there helping other people.
Right.
Yeah.
That guy was fucking courageous.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have seen it that way either.
No.
Like if you would have talked to him.
He's very humble.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
I miss Pete, man. Damn it, you had to say his name right now.
I mean, I think about him all the fucking time.
I miss Pete, man.
Yeah.
Pete. I'm a fucking...
To Pete.
Fucking Pete, man. I love that guy. Man, there was
lucky
he was
to
such
meet
a great guy.
Such a fucking great guy.
Yeah, so Pete had the terminal illness for as long as I've known him, too. He never...
So his full... I love this story because it just explains how dumb the Marines are, and I fucking love it. He's a Marine, right?
Yeah, of course.
And he's in the Marines, and they find out he's got a tumor around one of his kidneys. And they're like, all right, well, you got 2 of those, and they rip that shit out. Later in life, he gets fucking cancer all throughout his other kidney, and they just never, like, he could never get another kidney.
Sure.
He couldn't get a donor, and so he just had to take, like, fucking horrific drugs to fight the illness that ate away at his heart.
And I remember seeing him just, like, being like, yeah.
Oh. Like a goddamn ghost. But he fought through that shit anyway. And he was coming in to bullshit at a gun store.
His favorite thing to do
He was like, yeah.
was to go to a gun store to talk to us.
Yeah.
Just to bullshit with us.
Mm-hmm.
Walk
he needed
around.
something to fucking get his mind off the pain.
And that's what he did. And he liked doing it. I fucking loved it. I loved that he did it. Yeah. Every time I saw him, I stopped what I was doing to talk to him.
Yeah.
Period.
Everything. Like, sorry,
Everything.
fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off. I'm talking to Pete. Sorry.
Right.
Dude, Pete was the man. Yeah. And you're right. He was absolutely a very, very courageous person. And that's another thing, too. And this is where, okay, so everybody knows this is a veteran-owned podcast. We support first responders, veterans alike. And I'm going to say this right now. Veterans, family, there are a lot of things that happen in our lives, and there's a lot of things that we have across the board issues with amongst our society. And we all know, let's just, we don't have to hide it. We all know suicide's a problem. Drug addiction's a problem. And we need to help one another out. We've been through some serious shit. We know it. We need to move on from this. And courage is how it happens. You had courage when you were in, and then afterwards it starts to fail. And that's one thing. Like, I did the 22 walk, and I know it doesn't do much. In my mind, I feel like I want to do so much more.
Right. But it was cool that you got to go do that.
But this podcast, what we're doing here, this right here means the world
to me
when it comes to that. Because I want people to understand that I want to be your voice.
Right.
And I want you to hear me, that you're not the only one that had to go through it. And I hope that the courage perspective that we're talking about right now set something off in your head, maybe a little spark to understand that you have it.
You have the ability to fucking improve things. And courage is not a one-dimensional thing. It's not running into gunfire only. That is absolutely courage. But there's more. There's more to it. There's the fucking willingness to learn something new. There's the willingness to put yourself outside of your fucking bubble and better your life. Like, it's fucking easy to coast.
Yes.
I mean, why do you think so many people are on welfare, man?
Mm-hmm.
It's not because they're fucking courageous. It's because it's the easy thing. Like, their parents are on it. Their fucking friends are on it. You don't have to fucking do shit.
They look at their lives, and they look at what they're able to just get rid of, and if they're okay with it, right? So some people are like, I'm okay with living in a very small quarters and in a very bad neighborhood, making ends meet because it's free, and all I have to do is this. That's fine. I have a place to sleep, and I lock my door. I'm okay. But some people don't want that. And I don't know, man. You're right. But welfare, I try not to harp on that because I have.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with someone that happens to fall on hard times and needs to use that
nothing
system
wrong with it. But it's not made to sustain your entire life.
Right. But, like, unfortunately, some people use it that way, and their lives are sad. Like, it's not. I don't get angry at those people of, oh, they're taking my tax money, they're stealing. No, they have really sad lives. Yeah. And it's because they lack courage in a lot of the ways that we're talking about. Yeah. Because they don't enjoy their life that way.
No.
Like, as much as you'll find some of them that try to pretend like they do, they don't. Your life isn't fun being on American welfare and food stamps, right? Like, it's just not. Like, you don't get the same enjoyment out of that versus if you would have gained a skill and earned a real fucking living. Like, your workforce should mean something. Like, your labor should mean something to you.
You know what else is a hidden courage?
What's that?
Like, how about being a conservative in the movie world, or how about just being a conservative period in today's world?
Being the contrarian.
How about standing up for what you believe in?
Even if it's really unpopular. It's fucking hard. Sometimes that takes place in the workplace. Sometimes
it does.
I mean, the movie industry, for those actors or producers or directors or whatever it is, like, absolutely, they're a massive minority. Mm-hmm. Think about being a conservative professor in the college system.
That's another one I wanted to talk about.
I mean, the percentages of conservative professors is, like, absurdly low.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the fucking percentages are. I don't want to give you an inaccurate stat, so I won't give any. But I know that it's, like, less than half of most college campuses don't even have a single conservative person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that can't fucking be easy.
Mm-mm. Because and you end up falling into the trade. So you have to have the courage to stand up for what you believe in, even if somebody else doesn't agree with you. And what ends up happening, and especially in our day of society, people end up jumping on a bandwagon because it's easy, because it's comfortable.
Yeah.
There's a big group of people screaming, I'm fearful. I don't want them to be mad at me, so I'm just going to join them. What is it? If you can't beat them, join them.
Right.
Well, whatever happened to people being revered for standing up for their own beliefs? Look at Martin Luther King. He's coming up, right?
His day is coming up.
Yeah. Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King stood up for what he believed in, and the entire world was against him.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
it must have felt like the entire world, but at least in the United States.
Dude, you got to recognize that there were people in the civil rights movement that were against him. Like,
Yes.
like there were people that thought that his ideas were bad. Like Malcolm X couldn't have disagreed with him more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Malcolm X was basically essentially what's getting more and more popular now of like racism towards white people.
Mm-hmm.
Like Martin Luther King was the one
racism
standing
towards
up.
them and war, and Martin Luther King want peace. It was a difference, yeah.
And not only did he want peace, but he wanted like genuine equality.
Yeah.
Not equity,
Mhm.
equality. Like,
Mhm.
judge me on my character. That's it. Like, I'm not asking for any kind of advantage or disadvantage.
If I'm a good person, I'm a good person. Yeah.
Right, I want my fucking merits to make me, which is, the human race went through that whole fucking struggle.
Mhm.
And it's been kind of slowly getting there. And Martin Luther King was really important to making that happen for black people in America, a minority.
Mhm.
Before that minority, it was the majority of people that didn't have that fucking ability. That's what the Revolutionary War was about. They didn't have any fucking rights.
Yep.
They wanted the ability to be able to like pull themselves up by their bootstraps, have a fair opportunity to go out there and make something for themselves.
Exactly. That's absolutely right. And he, I mean, God, imagine today a Martin Luther King, but not for civil rights for the black people. Let's just say
It's hard to imagine what that would look like
today,
for
right?
What? Because we've come so far.
we have, and we absolutely have. Like
Right. We don't have the glaring inequalities that we used to.
No, it's everything's okay.
Not everything's perfect,
I'm
but
not
it's
saying
way
it's
better.
perfect. But it is absolutely way better. Again, I know racism probably it still exists.
That's not
I
what
get
it's
it,
about,
but
though.
no,
Like
it's not.
Martin Luther King didn't want to end all racism.
He just wanted equality.
He wanted
based
fucking
on-
equality. He wasn't trying to have mind control over everybody.
Yeah.
He wanted it to be illegal to fucking say, I'm not hiring this guy because he's black. And it should be illegal.
Imagine how much courage that man had to have had to just keep going. Even though
You think he didn't
imminent
know
death
people
was
wanted
there.
to fucking kill him?
He did know.
Right,
He absolutely.
of course.
There have been attempts made on
multiple.
him. Multiple attempts made on him. So that's what I'm trying to say. That fucking courage right there. That man had that right there. Courage.
Hell yes.
And not just him. Let's talk about our president.
Yeah.
President Donald Trump. You can see countless interviews
I
of them
just
asking
hear
him.
a bunch of people in my mind.
Yeah. Well, let me talk about him for a second. He didn't have to fucking do this. He was a freaking eccentric fucking multi-fucking millionaire, billionaire, whatever. The guy has more than enough. He didn't have to fucking jump in.
I love the
and
people
do
that
anything.
pretend that this is a money grab for him. That he's doing it to make money.
For
it's
what?
Fucking hilarious.
For what? What has he done?
all these people are going to his hotels now. Like, yeah, they weren't before.
Yeah. Yeah. He just
had
built
a
these
real-
hotels and
he had a
nobody
real
went.
Yeah.
The bottom line is that he had to give up his image, his life, his well-being.
I mean, we talked about it previously, relatively recently. Like,
Mhm.
before he was president, no one thought he was racist. No
Mhm.
one accused him of being racist. No one accused him of being homophobic, which is wild because he was openly for gay marriage.
Yep.
Like, when almost nobody was. Like,
Yep.
in the early 2000s.
He was like, "Why?" He's like, "I don't even care." Yeah.
I mean,
He's like, "I don't
Hillary
care."
Clinton wasn't fucking for gay marriage until 2013.
Yeah, she actually has videos of her saying like, "No, that's absolutely wrong."
Right. It was
Yeah.
that NPR interview to where, like,
Yes.
basically the lady was like trying to be, yeah, but you just did it because of political pressure, right? Like, you were on our side the whole time, really, right? And she got like offended, like, no,
No,
I
yeah.
was not against it. I was against it.
Yeah.
Until 2013.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he had to give up everything when it came to image, and he's the kind. He's
I mean, you think image isn't important to Donald motherfucking Trump?
image is important to him. It is
He's an egotistical salesman.
exactly. Exactly. So he actually gave that up to do
To
something.
do a fucking good.
And he does a good fucking job.
Yeah, that's the most frustrating thing about
That's
him is
courage.
his unrecognized good work.
That's courage.
Yeah.
People hate him.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate him.
I think he'll know people will always hate him.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the history books, but like in his lifetime, people will always hate him.
The image of him in history books will also be tainted because of the fact that
You will see. The history has a weird way of
Have you read
changing their tone.
Have you read
on
any history
things.
books lately when it comes to recent history, like American history? Like, for instance, let me just narrow it down.
Bush?
Look at well, you could read about Bush too, which has been
I think that's gotten easier. I
But-
think that people look back at George Bush with rose-colored lenses.
Yeah.
I think that as time has gone on, people has recognized, oh, maybe he wasn't the idiot asshole that we made him out to be.
Look how the Bill of Rights was written in some of the newer history books.
Oh yeah.
So like one of the issues that I have is how the Second Amendment's written.
Okay.
It literally only says the right to keep and bear arms. That's it. Just says that.
It didn't have the actual Second Amendment in it?
One little bit. That's what the Second Amendment is in that history book. So when our children are learning anything about it,
put the
when our children are learning about it, they read the right to keep and bear arms. That's it. That's what they read. They don't know any. They don't know what shall not be infringed or
right of the people.
The right of the people. They don't know. It's just the right to keep and bear arms. That's all it says. So, and now I'm not saying every book is like that. I'm just saying that there is books out. There are books out there.
Obviously, there are plenty of books that have the actual Constitution written in it.
But it's stuff like that. But anyways, veering off.
Small, pervasive stuff though that like they just kind of take away at things like that.
So anyway, but he had to have a lot of courage to give up his image, his self-being, or his...
like, you can't be the president in this country without half of the nation hating you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the nature of the game.
Because the nation's divided, and it always has been.
And like, there's engines of division. The media has become engines of division.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter. There's no, we need a president to unify the country. There is no such man or woman. That will never happen. Actions, situations can change and unify this country. War possibly could change and unify this country in a genuine sense, not like a frivolous war that we don't need to go to, but like we're getting attacked. We have to actually defend ourselves. That kind of situation could unify us, but no individual with words is going to be able to just unify us because everything is spun in a negative light by half of the nation.
Courage is also a weird beast because you could be courageous at one thing and completely soft at the other, or not courageous.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I see this a lot when it comes to, for instance, social media, right? I can't say it enough. And I know that social media, unfortunately, is the way our future is. So it's fine. But how about the people that see somebody getting the crap beat out of them, and their idea of that situation is to put it on camera and film it on their phone, and not stop them from killing each other. I don't care whose side you're on. Just stop them from fucking trying to kill each other.
But the response is just film it.
Film it.
Yeah, man.
That's not courageous at all.
No.
That is weak. You see what I'm saying?
It's wild to me.
It is.
Some of the stuff that happens, and people are just standing there just filming it.
People will fight. It's a thing.
Yep.
Since the beginning, dawn of time, fighting is fighting. It's always happened. I've fought a shit ton of my life. I've got my ass beat, and I've fucking beat some ass, right?
Right.
But at no time was it ever just fight until you die. And and most of the time, if I see somebody else fight, I'm trying to break it up. Like, guys, stop. Like, there's no reason.
Right.
But our day and age right now is about filming and then letting it happen.
Okay, so did you ever take a psychology class?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Actually, I fucking loved it. I love psychology.
There's a few like just textbook examples in psychology of like events that happened of basically like, I think there was one of a lady in a New York apartment building, but like in a courtyard in the middle of it, that got raped in broad daylight and no one did anything. And there was another one of like someone getting robbed or assaulted, and they were surrounded by people. And basically, like, because not a single person, because the group wasn't reacting, like no individual acted. Like
we can talk about 9/11 too,
like the herd mentality kind of thing that people can get frozen into. And that's, I mean, again, the contrarian part of things, like that's where courage comes in, of like being able to just not give a fuck. Whether other people think you're right or wrong, and just act, you know? What do you think about 9/11?
One of the planes didn't make its destination because it was theory, or it was...
Because they had phones. Here's my thing about this. This is awesome. What happened there was awesome. But I certainly don't think you make this implication, but I feel like some people sometimes do. Like, the other two planes didn't know what was going on. The other three planes. The fourth plane did. Like, by this point, like, because when We've talked about 9/11 before, to where like that first plane hit and everybody was confused.
Yeah, what just happened?
What the fuck happened?
Had to have been an accident.
Right.
Yeah.
Had to be an accident. Then the second plane hit, and then the Pentagon got hit, like really fucking close to each other. By that point, everybody, oh my God, this is a fucking attack on the nation. And people had phones on the planes. So the people that were on that fucking plane knew what was happening.
Yep.
And they had the fucking courage to say, fuck that. We're going to try to take this plane back, or we're all going to die, but we're not going to be used as a weapon against others.
Yes.
And that is fucking...
That's courage.
That is true...
It's fucking courage.
Tragic.
It's tragic as fuck. Yeah. It's sad to talk about, but I mean, that's
those
what it is.
Motherfuckers. Yeah. They deserve a lot more than they got, for sure.
The firefighters and police that responded to the incident of 9/11 when they were dragging people out of the rocks over, like I'm talking about, people were dying,
right,
trying to save people. Courage,
right?
People that
drive across the nation to get there. You know, fire department, first responders, EMTs. All right, I'm sorry, but I'm leaving fucking Iowa. I'm going to drive to New York. I'm leaving fucking Georgia. I'm driving to New York to go help.
Australia.
Yeah.
Australia's on fire right now, right?
Yep.
We talked about the reason.
Right.
There's American firefighters out there right now.
Yeah.
Tons of them. They all flew out there with all their gear, and they're all trying to help with to put out the fires and everything like that. Humanitarian.
Do you remember that that flood in Thailand that trapped the fucking soccer team?
Oh, yeah, the soccer team, yeah.
The fucking British divers showed up to fucking save their lives. Like,
I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about all this shit. Like I'm getting like excited right now. I mean, it's so
inspiring.
Powerful. It's so powerful. It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
That there's people like this,
right,
in all of us, and we can all be this way.
Right. That's the real fucking cool thing about it, is that like I was saying earlier, some people have. You started off by saying some people have it, some people don't.
Yep.
Some people have a natural inclination to courage, and some people don't as much. But it's a muscle that can be flexed. And anybody can make the choice of, I'm going to fucking do this. I'm going to be this. You know, like you, in the fear episode, you were talking about how you faced all your fears, and you made it a point to fucking like, maybe not solve your fear, but face it in a way that was extreme to try to help you get past it, to where next time when you're scared of it, you can think, oh, well, I did this extreme shit, so I can get over this mundane
if
thing.
I did this, yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I did it.
Right.
That was the only way I knew how. Courage
can be the same way, you know, and like, I don't know. It's fucking cool to think that like those people, that could be you. That you could be the fucking guy that's saving
somebody's life.
Right.
You could be the guy that
it's making the fucking difference.
Yeah.
That needs to be made.
And that's important. We need more of that.
Right.
You know, no more of this, you know, feeling sorry for yourself. No more of this backing off. No more of this just sitting there back watching the world burn, man. That we can all come together and help out just that little bit, you know?
Right.
And do it and make a change. You know, like there's so many problems that happen right under people's noses, and people just turn their cheek.
And there's all kinds of different ways you can go about it. Like we talked about some of the violent stuff. There's so much like fucking going out and helping, like fucking go. Anybody could pretty much go and tutor like elementary school kids of like a really poor
volunteer work.
Yeah, go fucking help underprivileged kids. Get better, get more proficient in math or reading or whatever. Like there's endless things that you could just decide, I'm going to make a difference because I know I can make a difference here.
Yeah, but why would you want to do that when you can just tweet about it?
Right. The virtue signaling.
We could just fucking virtue signal and just talk shit about it online, and then, you know, whatever.
How great you are and how terrible everybody else is.
There's things that we can do that I see it's getting less and less. I mean, I'm not taking away from it. I see it all the time. I see courage all the time. I see people doing shit to help people. I see people going outside of their comfort zone. But
go fucking save dogs. Go work at a fucking dog rescue.
Yeah,
you know, like
that's hard.
Yeah, man,
that's fucking hard, dude. I walk through when I
it breaks me up every time I fucking go.
When I saved Freya,
yeah,
I went up to that dude. It was so hard to walk through that. I wanted to take them all home. I wanted to take every fucking one of them home.
I told you about the time D2 made me go there to just check things out, right?
Yeah.
I was so mad at her. I'm like, there's a dog right here. He's an awesome dog. Why are we not taking
Why
him?
are we not taking him? Yeah.
He's a good dog.
Yeah.
He needs a home. We have a home.
Yeah.
What's going on?
The whole time I was like, I can take you. I'll take you. I'll take all of you.
Right. And she's like, but he's not the breed I want. Like, this is a dog right here. He's a good fucking boy.
Yeah. He's a good dog. Like, it was so sad. Like, I was reading some of the signs on, not to veer off of our topic, but I was reading a couple signs, and some people were like, you could tell the excuse that they gave them was bullshit.
Yeah, of like why they gave the dog up.
They gave the dog up.
Oh, yeah, I can't stand that shit.
I've
had this dog for 7 years, and allergies are just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I read. I read that 7 years and allergies. And I'm like, allergies? You fucking liar. Like, at least tell the fucking truth. I don't want my dog here.
Yeah.
Like, I probably would have had more respect for somebody.
I don't love my animal.
I don't love my... Yeah, fuck off, man. Yeah, dude, I was getting mad. I had so many emotions going through there. I was mad. I was upset. It was... Oh my goodness. But anyway, so have the courage to do something above yourself, too. Like...
There's so much value to be gained out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you find yourself in a funk, like, I know you're talking about, the really sad suicide issue we have in the veteran community, and the funk that a lot of guys get into when they get out of the military and they don't have that brotherhood anymore, and they kind of feel like just directionless. Go fucking volunteer to do something to help someone else.
Yeah.
Like, that makes you, that inspires you to better yourself and to have a better life. Like, there's just so much good that can come out of that.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure a lot of people listening know, but there's something beneficial about doing something above yourself. There really is.
Yeah.
It's on your soul. Okay. Whether you believe you have one or not, I believe it. And
feels good to get someone a good flashlight.
Exactly. Yeah. Fucking this thing is fucking dope. But like, there's something that says about doing something for somebody that's good, that you can see the joy in them and everything like that. That is good for your soul.
Yeah.
It refills it. It gives you that good fucking feeling. And it's super, it's super good. And I mean, you're missing out, but there's a lot of different aspects of courage that we're talking about, whether it be running into danger, whether it be just having the courage to better your life, whether it be, any one of those aspects. One of the things that I want to bring up that I think is very important for everybody to understand is that it's okay that somebody else is courageous. It's okay that somebody else is doing something crazy and out of the ordinary. It's okay. It doesn't mean that that you need to give up on that. It doesn't mean that, because they're doing it, that you don't have the ability to do it. Everybody can have that courage within themselves. And I think it's very important that people, listen to this and understand that it's all about just getting up and doing it. When you start succumbing to doubt, and doubt becomes a really big thing in your life, and you let doubt win, then you will not do anything, and then the courage starts to secede, and you will not be able to do your dreams or do the things that you want to do, or be able to stand up for people, or be able to help people. You start getting into this funk where you just want to be left alone and just kept to yourself, when you could be doing so much more. And I think that it's important that people need to understand that that little bit right there, just a little bit of courage, can really be the wave to change the world.
It can be a jump starter. Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes back to like the Jordan Peterson thing. I don't know how much you've paid attention to him, but like his whole...
He gets ostracized everywhere he goes.
Oh, I know.
He gets dogged everywhere he goes.
But his like grand idea, his big like thing that he focuses on is... He feels like the number one thing of why communism and all these horrific acts were able to take over was actually on like an individual level. Like, he feels like if he can inspire individuals to be courageous and to do the right thing and to stand up for the right things, that tyranny will never have a chance to rise again, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, whether he's right or wrong, I don't know, but it's an interesting idea of like, it was a whole bunch of individuals that just didn't show courage when they should have, that allowed communism to take over and just murder countless people, countless atrocities. Like, if you have a social fabric that's just not willing to let that happen, then you don't have to worry about what kind of government you have, because ultimately they're at the whims of us.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah.
It's if I can't beat them, join them.
Right.
So a lot of these people are scared to stand up against them because of what's happening.
That's how tyrants work.
That's exactly how tyrants work. I mean, I was just watching a video earlier today, and I don't know names. I'm horrible at names, but it was basically they were talking about Second Amendment rights and taking firearms away and registering them, and they asked one simple question. And instead of having an answer for that gentleman, they just said, well, then I guess we just won't have what was it?
Yeah, I think you're talking about Illinois.
Yeah.
It was Illinois senator, a female.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
That he's talking about they were going to register guns. And he's like, if they're so dangerous, then why, if I'm paying this money, does it make it less dangerous?
Why? How does it make it less dangerous? And she goes, well, fine, maybe we just won't have it. We'll just take away your, yeah.
Yeah.
There was no reasoning. It was
Right.
as soon as he asked, how is this going to better us? He asked a simple question.
Right.
She goes, well, then we just won't do it. We're just going to take your guns.
Yeah.
What?
And then the whole crowd went wild.
What?
Yeah.
Like, what? How does that make any fucking sense? You're so stupid.
Just going to steal your property.
Like, I feel like you know what I want to do? I want to be, this is your courage. I'm going to just spend like 6 months, right, of my life going around to different cities, going to the town hall, just to walk in front of that person and go, you're an idiot. And then just walk out.
I
Like,
mean,
you're an idiot.
It's strange to me that like basic values can somehow get missed. Like stealing is bad. And like somehow they don't see that. Like we're going to take your guns. You're stealing private property when there's no crime that's been committed.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. You're talking about stealing.
Mm-hmm.
We're the government. We can't steal. No, you're stealing.
No. You're stealing.
That's
You're stealing.
theft.
You're stealing my shit.
I think we figured this out in kindergarten. Stealing's bad.
Mhm.
So
And then you want to invade my privacy.
no.
You want me to tell you what I have.
Right.
That's invading my privacy. Then it goes against my God-given motherfucking right. It's in the Constitution, so you're being unconstitutional already. And then all of a sudden, it's
I know we're going off topic a little bit, but we've talked about
we're
courage.
so passionate.
We talk about courage. I want to talk about natural rights for a second.
Okay.
So, God-given, okay? Some people don't believe in God. Some people believe in Odin. Some people
Odin given.
right. The founders weren't all Christian. They weren't necessarily atheist because there were just not, that wasn't as much a thing there, but they were definitely more pantheists, basically meaning like they didn't believe in Christianity per se. They believed that there was a creator because why would anything exist if there wasn't a creator? There was no other good explanation, but they weren't really sure. They didn't believe one way or the other. They still believed in natural rights. Those guys that were our founding fathers. Not all of them. There was plenty of founding fathers that were Christian.
You should be able, you should be able to preserve your own life. You should be,
But these are natural rights, and what that meant was because some people they hear that and they're like, "Well, God given, I don't believe in God, so how about that?"
Sometimes I hate people.
That's
Jesus.
not what it's talking about. The natural rights, God given rights, they're things that just exist already, and everybody always has them, and the only way we don't is in the government gets in their way. So we weren't granted these rights. We were affirming that our government has no right to take away our natural rights.
Yep.
Like we have the ability to talk whatever the fuck we want. About whatever the fuck we want. No one gave us that ability. We just had it. That's a natural right. We have the ability to defend ourselves. There's a reason that anything from a fucking mosquito to a zebra, in some way, shape, or form, has defense mechanisms, whether it'll fight or run. All right? Every organism has that ability.
I'm getting like a moto boner right now. Keep going.
These are natural rights. That's the idea behind our Bill of Rights and the First and Second Amendment. All right? So that's what they mean by natural rights. It's not something that's like, oh, if you're not a Christian, then they don't apply. Like, no. It's talking about if you're in the middle of the fucking forest, you can say whatever you want, and you can defend your own goddamn life. Right? That's it. Because you just can. That's not. No one gave it to you.
Yeah.
You just,
but no, you can't. The most outrageous thing that I can think of right now is that the simple fact is that somebody else can sit here and look at me in the face and tell me that I don't have the right to defend myself. That's the dumbest fucking thing.
welcome to Australia.
I know. No, you don't. You can't defend yourself. No,
you have no legal right to defend your own life. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, but there's people out there. You don't have a legal right to defend yourself. What kind of horseshit is that?
Yeah.
What kind of bullshit? There's states out there that literally tell you, like, you cannot defend yourself. You have to run away.
You have no right to your own property.
If you can't run away, then maybe, depending on the escalation, you have to really be almost dying. You could defend yourself. Fuck you.
Yeah.
If someone's about to fucking harm me, my family, or my friends, and I have the ability to stop them, guess what?
OSHA for burglars.
Fucking OSHA for
That's what that shit is. That's
Hashtag OSHA for burglars.
They're
I
just
like
trying
that.
to make it safer to be fucking burglars. That's all.
It's fucking horseshit.
Oh god.
You play stupid games, you will win stupid fucking prizes.
Healthcare is a human right. Okay? That kind of statement. That will not ever be on the same fucking level as freedom of speech and the Second Amendment right. All right? You have the right to keep and bear arms. You don't have the right for someone to make it a firearm and give it to you for free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You don't have the right of someone else's labor.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to keep a weapon for defense because it's the most effective weapon for defending yourself.
Arms,
yeah.
Not
so defensive.
firearms, not pistol, shotgun.
Body armors included.
Arms.
Arms is both offensive and defensive.
And defensive armaments.
Right.
Exactly. It's just a short version of armament. It means anything. If I want a motherfucking mace, if I want a fucking Morning Star, if I want to throw some fucking ninja stars.
Brass knuckles?
Brass monkey, not funky. I don't know why that song's in my head now.
But like that's the kind of thing I think about when someone says, healthcare is a human right. Okay, not really.
So you're trying to tell me if it's a human right, it should be free. So you're telling me I demand you to fix me.
Right.
Fuck you.
Right. I mean,
no. I went to school. I earned the right to do this. I'm studying this. I'm doing a service. You pay me for my service. Period.
Right.
Not no. You're gonna go to all this learning and give up your life so you could fix me because I'm an idiot.
Right.
Fuck you.
And things are impossible until you invent a new way to save my life. And now that is mandatory that I get that for free.
Yeah. People
just
like free shit, but because they don't understand that nothing's free.
It's not like they don't have a point to where, like, in the modern world, we should find a cost-effective way of saving most people's lives. Okay?
Sure. I agree that there's some things that are too expensive.
I don't need to pay for anything to do with healthcare.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Like I don't agree with the big pharma and how they've been capitalizing.
Big pharma creates a lot of goddamn medicine that saves people's lives.
But
there's an upside and a downside to everything.
There's some ridiculous prices on certain
things. What's that piece of shit that he bought a certain type of drug for, I think it was for AIDS. He bought this one fucking drug for AIDS and then changed it from $1,000 a pill to $10,000 a pill or some shit like that.
The EpiPen.
He went to jail.
Was another one.
Yeah. Do you remember what guy I'm talking about though?
He had a gold watch.
He bought a Wu-Tang Clan album. They made an album.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
He bought the album and was like, I'm never letting anybody else listen to it. Fuck you.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the same guy.
Yeah.
He's like a fucking spoiled brat.
He went to jail.
But here's the thing, though. That doesn't fix anything. And a lot of the times, what Big Pharma does is they get fined, right?
Yeah.
They just pay the fine and keep going. Sure. It's cheaper to pay the fine than give up what they're doing.
I mean, think about Remington. They knew they had a faulty weapon in the 700 for a long time. And they just decided it was easier to pay
the fine,
pay out lawsuits when wrongful deaths happened, rather than replacing all the trigger packs.
The fucking problem.
Yeah, I mean that whole thing was kind of sad. Like the engineer that came up with it for Remington recognized the problem 7 years after. Like, oh, there's a flaw in what I came up with, and they're like, yeah, it's too late. There's courage. Comes back to that. If someone had shown a little bit more courage there.
Gotta love courage.
But, yeah, the healthcare thing, it's so frustrating. I understand, it's coming from a goodwill. I get the idea of, you don't want poor people to have to die in the streets, right? But, can there not be, a middle ground to where, the government can come up with an inexpensive way to fucking cover boo-boos? Take care of broken arms and fucking stitch people up.
I think CenturyCare is done well. I think that was a smart idea because not everything calls for you having to go to a hospital.
Right.
A lot of it can be, okay, you're sick. I can give you antibiotics.
As an adult, I was baffled by the fact that a hospital is an ER. That's what a hospital is.
Yeah.
I thought like a hospital was like where a bunch of doctors were that were specialists and like,
and then,
you could go there and make appointments. But no, it's just an ER. That's all a hospital is.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
It's a hospital is an ER and then a place for women to give birth. Because that's super lucrative. For real. Like, they make a fuckload of money on that shit.
I know.
It's like $10,000 for a cheap one. Like, it's expensive as shit to go give birth.
Yeah.
Isn't that why? Like, that's why the poor people are like, yeah, I'm going to give a home birth. I want a natural birth.
Yeah, I want all natural.
All natural.
I'm going to the swimming pool out back. I got this. We're gonna fucking deliver this shit in the back of the motherfucking taxi cab. Let's do it. I want a real New York birth in this one. Anyways, that is all the time we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Dillon, man, that was a great fucking conversation,
it was good talking
bro.
to you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got some value out of it.
I like it. So don't forget to follow Clear Malfunction's Instagram page. Take a look at him. He should be posting more stuff up there here recently.
Yeah, I've been a piece of shit. I'll try not to be.
So, yeah, Clear Malfunction. I am the Nitro Panda. Thanks for listening to us. Don't forget to go to our social media, like, share, and subscribe. CovertStandard.com is our website. Don't forget about StoneColdWorks.com either. And tell your friends about us, man. Appreciate it.
Peace out.
Later.
So this AK-20.
I need another AR. I want to fucking...